Hey, here we are.
Hello.
Thank you all for joining in the chat beforehand. That's fun to see everybody kind of chattering away before the show. It almost feels like real live showtime.
Yeah, that chatbot was a real pain in the butt. I'm glad we got rid of him.
Well, we're going to start off with the song. I'm going to start off with just a little bit of name dropping because I'll skip that story. We'll just...
No, don't skip the story. I want to know what it was now.
No,
You've got
tell
me
you later.
intrigued.
We're just going to do a song about weaving that was written by, if I'm remembering correctly, Ewan McVicker from somewhere in Western Scotland. I hope I'm not getting my songwriters mixed up.
And if we're wrong, you probably nicked it from Martin Carthy like everybody else did. So.
Yeah. Okay, so Kathy Jordan. There, I dropped the name.
Oh.
Yeah, from Dervish.
Yeah.
See, the first time I met her was at Girvan Folk Festival. And I had just been doing this lovely big sing around in the lobby, one of those big domed lobbies where all the sound just caves into the middle and surrounds you with it. And it was so much fun. And Kathy Jordan came in during that. And at some point, she pretty much grabbed me out of my seat, took me off to this little sidebar with this other guy who had just walked in. And she said, basically, I want you to meet him and learn this song that I heard him do. And so thank you, Kathy, because I've been doing this song for a lot of years now.
Who was the him?
I'm not sure. I don't think it was Ewan McVicker. I think it was somebody else who had picked up the song.
Somebody almost as famous as Kathy Jordan, obviously.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay. Nice, subtle name drop, dear. Well done.
There we go. So, and it has a chorus. Yay!
Sing along.
Oh, wait, I was supposed to check the tuning first, wasn't I?
Oh, yeah.
So
right.
much for the nice, smooth intro.
That was very slick.
There we go. Whew. Okay, I found the culprit. That's the problem.
It's been
I
a
thought
long
you told
day.
me you tuned this
I did. That was
before I put the cable
February, I think. When I put new strings on it in February, I tuned it, and it should be there.
And also, the sun came out today, and it's been so rainy for, certainly all day yesterday, and today it's just hot and dry, so everything's going to be going out of tune. Get ready for it.
Yeah. So here's a Hungarian song by Ewan McVicker. That's rather close.
That's better. It's not perfect, but it'll do, right? Shift and spin, warp and twine, making thread coarse and fine, dreaming of your Valentine, working in the mill. Keep your bobbins threaded easy, show your gallus bright and breezy. Wait until Prince Charming sees me working in the mill. Shift and spin, warp and twine, making thread coarse and fine, dreaming of you Valentine, working in the mill. Hold your runners, tie your threads, do your work until you're dead. I wish I was a wife instead of working in the mill. Shift and spin, warp and twine, making thread coarse and fine, dreaming of you Valentine, working in the mill. I used to think that life was kind, so it isn't. Well, never mind. Maybe someday love will find me working in the mill. Shift and spin, warp and twine, making thread coarse and fine, dreaming of you Valentine, working in the mill. He loves me not, so what? I'll do my best with what I've got. I'll earn my pay and I'll spin the cotton, working in the mill. Shift and spin, warp and twine, making thread coarse and fine, dreaming of your Valentine, working in the mill. Shift and spin, warp and twine, making thread coarse and fine, dreaming of your Valentine, working in the mill. There. Doesn't it just make you feel like going out and getting a factory job?
Oh yeah.
No.
Been there, done that.
Well, next we're going to... Oh, can I drop another name?
You can
It's
indeed.
really easy to drop the name on this one. Kat Eggleston. Kat Eggleston wrote
You
this
know
next
so many
song.
great famous people.
And she has this great arrangement on her CD of this, which is just a guitar and a mandolin and her fabulous vocals. And so I'm kind of going halfway in between guitar and mandolin here.
How's your tuning on that now you've moved the frog?
It'll be awful. Why don't you talk to the nice people while I tune?
Oh, what would I say to them?
I don't know.
Apart from boringly singing Kat's praises again, which I
We do
do
quite a
every
bit of
time
that,
my
don't we?
names get mentioned. Yeah, well, she is rather wonderful.
We could just chant while I'm tuning. Kat Eggleston, Kat Eggleston.
You could
Kat.
just tune that really quickly and save me the bother. I mean, I've already been a chatbot for half an hour before we started.
Poor Mike.
It was such
Poor
hard
Mike.
work, I know. By the way, anybody who is technically minded or is even listening closely enough to notice, do comment on the sound, and I will make a point of checking every now and then just to see what people have said, because this is a complete new system today for broadcasting the sound to you.
Microphones.
And it kind of sounded all right here when we tested it, but we really no way of knowing until we get some feedback. And I don't mean the kind of feedback that we really don't want. We want the kind of feedback that we do want, which is from anybody who's critical enough to care about what it sounds like, because we have no idea. We're just hoping for the best. No red lights are flashing, so that in theory is a good sign.
We like that. So here's a song that is, I'm going to bump microphones, aren't
Well,
I?
don't get that close
I've
to
gotten
it.
used to the freedom of just
This
having my
way,
little...
there you go. That's it. Stand on a little dot there on the floor. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, and not move, right?
Yeah.
So it's a seasonal song, but it's a song for all seasons. And and again, it has a chorus. Monday morning you were born, Tuesday you were walking, Wednesday you had learned to talk, showed no sign of stopping. Thursday, Friday I looked up and you were off and running. Where you go from here, I guess there's just no way of knowing. Oh, the days hurry on, always moving on and on. I have loved you from the dawn and will through the evening. Where you are, the spring has come and all the world is blooming. But summer brings the burning sun before you know it's coming. Here I stand at harvest time, soon it will be snowing. When winter trees hold blackbird leaves, it's then I must be going. Oh, the days hurry on, always moving on and on. I have loved you from the dawn and will through the evening. Maybe you'll grow big and strong, maybe you'll be lucky. I hope and pray your days are long and most of them are happy. Someday when you laugh or sing, or if you're sick or grieving, or when at last you're old like me, it's then you'll hear me singing. Oh, the days hurry on, always moving on and on. I have loved you from the dawn and will through the evening. Oh, the days hurry on, always moving Thank you, Kat Eggleston.
Thank you,
Yay,
Kat, for
author.
another wonderful song.
Oh, and thank you, William, for I made the screen over there really big so I'd have some hope of seeing the comments.
And I can't see
And
him
it
at all.
sounds like William is giving us a stamp of approval on the sound. Yay! And looks like Katrina as well. So, yeah, excellent. Okay, thank you. I think
My
it's
speaking sounded far away from the mic. Yes, you're right.
maybe because he was far away from the mic.
Yeah, he
Could
was.
that be? Okay.
And the reason I'm... Well, no, there's no reason for me to be that far away from the mic, except that these are kind of median set for drum, guitar, and me.
Yeah, we are making compromises. It's true.
I'll tell you what. I'll do a Monty Python and speak up. I like shouting. I agree with him. Some of you might be old enough to remember that. Tania obviously isn't.
Nope.
No. Oh, right. C5. Where's the C? Thank you, dear.
This one?
Tania likes to play Hide the Capo. Oh, you did do Booby Trap the guitar, though.
Yeah, we have all these fun games we play. Usually, for me, this involves retuning the guitar to drop D and seeing if Mike notices before he starts playing. But since we finally got one of these little drop D key levers for this guitar as
Which
well,
are getting very hard to get now.
I can't play that trick on him anymore because you can just flip the lever and it's in the right tuning.
So long as I remember to look. Hey, it's all gone blunt. What did you do to this? You've made it blunt.
Blame the weather.
No.
Can we all blame the weather?
It's much more fun blaming you. Am I twiddling the right? I am twiddling the right now, but that makes a change.
Does he sound really far away from the microphone now?
It's
Because
all
he's
gone
like,
blunt. What?
never mind. Yeah, William says it sounds fine when you lean in a bit, Mike.
Thank you, William.
There you go. See, we spent all our rehearsal time with Mike sitting next to me there saying, get closer to your mic, get closer to your mic. So I'm conditioned, but...
Hey, get closer to your mic.
Oh, this... I thought you meant that mic.
No, see, you never understood me from the off, did you? See?
Never will. Okay.
And then I'll put the frog on, it'll be all out again. Woohoo!
Yeah. Now, if anybody actually hasn't come across one of these before, it's a hurdy-gurdy.
And you're blessed.
And Felicia, is Felicia on there yet? I see William, but I'm not sure if Felicia's on there as well. William and Felicia, William Pint and Felicia Dale, of course, are our two dear friends with whom we share many concerts and events.
And one affliction.
Yeah, the hurdy-gurdy. But Felicia and I are going to be doing a hurdy-gurdy workshop, actually live on Zoom on Labor Day weekend. So that's going to be very exciting. And this is a set of tunes that I think we've all probably played most of these tunes together before.
Bring this microphone a little bit closer to me.
I'm going to step off this microphone and just do a little adjustment to the hurdy-gurdy tuning because that's what a person does.
It about half an hour ago. Oh, sorry. Half an hour is a long time in the life of a hurdy-gurdy. Anybody who is similarly afflicted will know. And I know there are dulcimer players out there today, and you too can sympathise. It sounds remarkably close.
I guess that's why you remarked on it, huh?
Aye.
Okay. All right, 4 tunes that I think all come from France. With that.
If they didn't, they do now.
Yep. Waiting for my cue. like that.
And the crowd went wild.
Thank you.
I was probably whacking the guitar then. I just felt...
Was the guitar too loud?
I just thought I was whacking the guitar like crazy. And of course I got closer to the mic and forgot to back off it. So much to think about.
I know so many things to remember. Oh, Stephen's here. Presumably Stephen and Elizabeth.
Happy birthday to users. Happy birthday to users. Happy birthday, Stephen and Elizabeth. Because I still can't work out whether it was both of your birthdays or one. But we know there was definitely a birthday in the Kerner Beard Ewing household.
And in the Stair Arms, of course. Elizabeth. Okay. Oh, they're both logged in too. Yay!
That's probably because they're not speaking to each other.
Well, Mike repairs the guitar so that I can play it.
It's probably... it's close enough for me, but you'll obviously want to mess with it. Have a strap.
Close enough for... speech.
It's close enough for me, who doesn't
Close
care.
enough for Russian romantic poetry.
Oh, definitely.
Ooh. All right, William. Last time we did a Russian song, you were wanting to know if there were trees. This one is all about trees. This one is about the love life of trees. Really. It's Tonkaya ryabina, is the slender ash tree, or mountain ash tree, rowan tree. I'm not quite entirely sure of where that falls in this, but the tree is growing on the bank of the river with her roots.
It's the tree minding its own business song.
It's another one.
I'd forgotten all about this.
Well,
Okay,
this one is hanging out over the river with her branches growing out. Wait, sorry, I should
There's
do
a
this
tree
in this
just
direction.
hanging out, just chilling.
Just hanging out with her branches hanging over the river. And she's leaning over towards, on the opposite bank, a tall, strong oak tree.
It's a tall and strong enough for an oak tree.
Great, especially if I do this for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, perfect. Yeah.
So, and the song goes on to say, now, if that was me, I would just pick up and move to the other side of the river.
Yeah.
Okay? And I would grow next to the oak tree, and our branches would mingle together. And, oh, I love this part. Our leaves rustle against each other day and night. It's so sweet. But then you get to that classic, the dark Russian poetry thing. This is not the fate of the little birch tree, or the little ash tree.
What was the Russian word? Sudba.
Sudba, fate. Yeah, you've got to be familiar with Sudba to understand Russian poetry. Her fate is to stand forever alone, bowing and weeping. So get your hankies out, because it's really sad. And I should have tuned before I did all of that, right?
I did tune it. Honest. You all saw me tune it, didn't you?
It's perfect now.
It was perfect before.
Что стоишь, качаясь, тонкая рябина, голову склоняешь до самого дна, голову склоняешь до самого дна, а через дорогу за рекой широкой, так же одиноко дуб стоит высокий, так же одиноко дуб стоит высокий. Как бы мне рябине к дубу перебраться, я бы тогда не стала гнуться и качаться. Я бы тогда не стала гнуться и качаться. Тонкими ветвями я бы к нему прижалась, и с его листами день и ночь шепталась, и с его листами день и ночь шепталась. Но Нельзя рябине, кто бо пьер братья, знат судьба такая, век одной качаться, знат судьба такая, век одной качаться.
Sad now.
Too, it's tragic. Okay, we better lighten things a little bit, huh?
I didn't actually twig till now, since we rejigged, or you rejigged the set list.
I rearranged the set list for us, yes.
Tania has a penchant for themes in set lists, and I often remark that it doesn't always take account of how they fit musically. She just likes titles and things that kind of run together. And this one, having just sung a song about trees, we're now going to do one called Take It to Its Root. I don't even know if was that even intentional, or was it subliminal?
It was, all of the above.
Were you just, all right.
It was intentionally subliminal. This song comes from a series of novels that our friend Elizabeth Ann Scarborough wrote. And
hi, Annie, if you're out there. Hi, Annie, if you're not.
Don't know if she's there, but I haven't been able to watch all the comments as they go by. But let's see, the Song Killer Saga, which was this great series of books with this fabulous premise that because folk music was keeping people happy, keeping people's spirits up, keeping people persevering on through all the hardships that, the evils and ills of life could possibly throw at them, the devils decided it had to go. So there's this whole series of book about the devils, the forces of evil, trying to destroy folk music.
Sounds remarkably appropriate for these times, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, it was based on actual events. But in the course of that, Annie wrote this set of lyrics as a song that got written in the stories. And since she had such a lovely description of what the music was like, I thought, well, yeah, I could put a tune to that would just sound exactly like the description that she wrote in the book. And it came out something like this.
It's a great tune. I get to play D minor and C for about 15 minutes. It's great fun.
Until his fingers fall off.
Yeah. Which they do. I'm going to put the guitar in it. No, this is right. If I go this way.
Turn a little sideways this way.
This way. I'm going to whack you in the butt with it. And if I go this way.
See, all of our other live streams, I've been doing this little all-contained little tiny box of stereo pair of microphones that just goes straight out to the computer. And Mike's poor little sound engineer fingers have just been twitching at the lack of control on that. So
actually, my ears have been suffering the sound quality in this little 10 by 8 concrete room that we're in.
So I was just going to say,
to try something different, dear.
Yeah, cramped and crowded, deal with it. Okay. We'll remember how this goes when we get started.
Nope, no clue.
D minor, C, D minor.
Oh, I start this?
You start this.
I never get to start anything. Yeah, start this.
Okay.
Like.
Perfect.
Just like that?
Just like that,
yeah. I'll do it louder this time now.
Okay. There's blossoms on the flowering tree, rich and white sweet fruit. But when the branch is blighted, you must prune it to its root. All the roots run deep and deep, my dear, they grow deep and wide. Off from your sunny homeland to the sea's dark other side. And the sea begins a river, love, and the river starts a stream. The creek is rain and runoff from a mountainside in spring. It should run dry, my dear, and the river if her bed should crack, then you must find the streams, my love, and chase their channels back. And you must pray for rain, my dear, and you must melt the snow, for a sea must start from somewhere for to make its tidal flow. Humankind is like that sea, like that blooming tree. The songs, they are its blossoms, and the waves upon its sea. That sea must not run dry, my dear, nor rot and grow the fruit. And if you'd save a tree or sea, then take it to its root. There's blossoms on the flowering tree, rich and wine, sweet fruit. But when the branch is blighted, you must take it to its root. Which, of course, was taking it to its root at the end there with a traditional Irish tune, but called Julia Delaney, of course. Delaney. It's one of the classic, all-time, ultimate reels in the Irish tradition. It's that tune that every time we finish a song and are looking for a tune to put after it, that's the first one I ever think of. So I'm going to stay on the fiddle for this.
Well, yeah, this is a bit of a blast from the past, isn't it?
Yeah, it is quite.
Oh, you turn that round. Okay.
Well, I can turn it back around. I just was tripping over it. Sorry. Here we are making comments off the microphone. Not supposed to do that in a live stream, are we?
So, before I knew Tania existed.
What?
What?
There was a time?
There was a sad, sorry, desolate time before I knew that Tania existed. I met William Pint and Felicia Dale because I didn't know that they existed either. And once I realised that they existed, they decided to introduce me to Tania. And they said, can you get her a few gigs? What they meant was, she might like you and everything. That was a chin rest.
Yes, shoulder rest, actually.
Oh, so it was. What they meant was, we hope she likes you because we'll take her off our hands then. And, well, it kind of worked. 27 years on, here we still are. But she sent me an album as an introduction and I liked it. And then she came over with them for a tour they were doing and I liked her as well. And I suppose that goes kind of without saying. And she was working on an album. And she said, well, you've got a drum. Come and bash a drum on a couple of tracks on this album and we'll see how it goes. And this was one of them. And it's a tune that Tania wrote, is it not?
I did, yeah.
And I meant to bring the bears down, but I forgot.
Oh well.
So you better tell them about the bears.
Well, here's another name drop. There is a young singer-songwriter in Washington named Hank Kramer who has...
Hank Kramer, the 12th, is he, or now? I don't know how many there
15,
are.
Something like that. Anyway, I had this delight of taking care of him and his brother Christopher for a lot of time, many, many years ago. And at one point, these guys who were quite small at the time, they had gone out to play with their teddy bears. And so, yeah, sorry, Hank, I'm naming names here, but they got these teddy bears very mucky.
If you think that's bad, Hank, don't worry, you could be even more embarrassed. We had somebody once came up and said, you used to wipe my butt. Carry on.
Thank you, dear. So anyway, the teddy bears had to be laundered before bedtime. So, of course, soggy, wet teddy bears are no fun for carrying into bed with you. They tend to, just make everything soggy. So they had to go in the tumble dryer. And if you've ever heard Teddy Bears in a Tumble Dryer, it's kind of like tennis shoes in the tumble dryer. They thump thump and click click and thump thump and click because they had little hard noses. And it set up a really interesting rhythm. And I had to listen to it for a long time. And out of it came this tune, which is called A Pair of Bears. You're there, aren't you? Okay, got it. Microphone adjustments.
You were going to give it that much welly, I'd have turned you down a bit.
Sorry, was I overdriving things?
No, it's perfect.
Well, I have to turn off the heat sometime during the tune so that I can
bears dry,
so that I can bring it down into that cool down cycle at the end.
Yeah, right, okay, fine. Yeah. It's all good. All my hard work come to nothing.
Poor Mike. Okay.
Right then.
Right. Couple more songs before we take a little break.
The sourdough song. Have a guitar.
Makes sense.
Doopy-doopy-doo. Yeah, close.
Lovely.
Oh, strap's fallen off again.
Thank you. There's people out there, remember? See,
hello, people.
In order to remind Mike to play to the camera, I don't know if you even noticed what I did to it. Did you notice what I did to the camera?
No, because I never look at it. We should take a picture of the camera and post it later.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'll do that now.
Okay. I am going to do my favorite Bill Staines song.
Wait, I'm going to take a picture of the camera.
Oh, okay. Here goes Mike. And then he'll be trying to figure out how to post it in the chat so you all can see it.
In the chat. I'll never do that. Oh, next to the little guy standing next to it. There it is.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to take a picture of you now.
It's probably good. Okay, great. Now we've got Mike out wandering around taking pictures.
Post a picture of Tania on stage, live from the Anchorage Empire.
Don't forget you're not on microphone. Nobody can hear you.
Oh, they can. These microphones will pick everything up. Don't fart or you're lost.
Right. Ooh, okay. Thanks for the warning. So here's my favorite Bill Staines song, and it's I mean, there are a lot of possible favorite Bill Staines songs, but this one in particular has to do with Alaska history, which was something I grew up with, having grown up here. There's a lot of familiar references for me, but in case some of you aren't familiar with it, when the word of gold strikes in Alaska made their way down to the States, well, the rest of the world really, people started trooping out here from all over the place, often selling everything they owned to be able to get passage and gear to come out.
I did.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
And unfortunately, by the time the word spread slowly back in the late 18th century, and people were getting here years after the gold had pretty much been cleaned out. And there were, at one point, people figured there were 20,000 people who had made their way all the way out to Nome, where there had been gold nuggets just in the sand on the beach.
This is the solitary Nome of Alaska that some of you may not have heard of, where people got poor. Well, some people got rich and then a lot of people got poor, as opposed to the multiple Nomes of Zurich, where people go to get extremely rich and stay that way. This was a bit different.
Anyway.
I don't know why that just popped into my head.
Me neither, but okay. So there were all these people just camped out on the beach looking for all these gold nuggets that everybody else had already found. When first unto this country a stranger I came, pick and shovel on my back, no money to my name, no money to my name. I landed in old Juneau, Seattle far behind, boated across the channel where I worked the Treadwell mine, where I worked the Treadwell mine. It was hard times in the open pit, 1,800 down. One day you'd make $2, and the next you're glory bound, and the next you're glory bound. So we dodged the rocks from the sudden slides and swam out of the flood. In the rain and cold we dug for gold, through the water and the mud, through the water and the mud. There's color in the eagle's eye and in the sun at the break of day, but there ain't no color I could find to keep me on that pay, to keep me on that pay. So we were straightway through the wilderness to Fairbanks up the line, then down the frozen Yukon in the year of 99, in the year of 99. Now there's 20,000 of us here out on the beach at Nome, and there ain't but 1 in 50 who could pay his way back home, who could pay his way back home. Oh, I wish I was in Portland or some other seaport town. I'd sail around this whole wide world and lay this cradle down. I'd lay this cradle down. trapper and help him on his way. God bless the drunken fiddler when he finds the time to play. And hear the words of the dying man left frozen in the cold. And pity the weary miner who has never found his gold, who has never found his gold.
But goodie.
Yeah. Sorry, I was being distracted by this.
By what?
There's nothing behind the curtain. There's nothing behind the
Well,
curtain.
what did you think was what were you being distracted by?
Green.
Oh,
Green. I was expecting, Zool to come out through there or something.
behold, we have a green screen.
You never know what's going to come out of a green screen. You have to be very, very careful of them. I mean, if you don't believe me, just go back and watch our St. Patrick's Day show.
You expected Zool to come out of there?
Yeah, why not?
He's in Sigourney Weaver's fridge.
Oh, okay. So he's otherwise engaged.
One of my favourite lines. What's he doing in my freezer? Okay, last one of this set then.
Yeah.
Shall we name drop again?
Yeah.
More famous people?
Yeah.
All right then. Go on, drop that name.
Oh, I thought you were going to. I'm moving over to the dulcimer, so.
Okay. And the mystery name today is Mr. Matt Price.
Yay!
Another one of those great singer-songwriters who hides away in our locale down in Kitsap. He's in Ballsboro, Washington, where he quietly beavers away,
Microphone.
writing absolutely... I'm tuning, dear.
I'm getting
Quietly
on my
beavers
microphone.
away, writing absolutely wonderful songs and singing them absolutely wonderfully.
And playing incredibly fancy guitar stuff to go with them. So we're trying to cover our bases here by combining guitar and dulcimer to just try to do a little bit of what Matt does on his songs.
It's called,
It's called Going to the River.
and it's about...
Going to the River.
There you go.
No, it's not. It's about
You know, listen. Yeah, go on.
42. It's about life, the universe, and everything.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
Matt Price solved it. Here it is.
Should we wait for the airplane to go by?
We should probably wait. The interesting thing about living here, up towards the top of the mountain, about 15 miles from the airport, is that millions and millions of little tiny single-engine aircraft go flying past the whole time, because of course it's a primary mode of transport here.
He's gone. We better start playing.
Go on in, while the dulcimer's still in.
2, 3, 4. I'm going to the river where the boats are dancing in the sun. I'm going to the river where the cold, dark waters run. I'm gonna let the river set me free. I'm gonna let the river swallow me. I'm going to the city where the towers reach the sky. I'm going to the city. Nobody looks you in the eye. I'm gonna let the city set me free. I'm gonna let the city swallow me. Everywhere I go, I make mistakes. Everyone I love, I drive away. Are you gonna make me leave when I awake, or are you gonna let me stay? I'm going to the country where the cottonwood's in bloom. I'm going to the country. The owl is hooting in the gloom. I'm gonna let the country set me free. I'm gonna let the country swallow me. Bright star of the evening, blind as the prophet's eye. of leaving make me want to cry. I'm going to the river where the boats are dancing in the sun. I'm going to the river where the cold, dark waters run. I'm gonna let the river set me free. I'm gonna let the river swallow me. Everywhere I go, I make mistakes. Everyone I love, I drive away. Are you gonna make me leave when I awake, or are you gonna let me stay? Bright star of the evening, blind as the prophet's eye, why does the thought of believing make me want to cry? Make me want, make me want, make me want to fly. I'm going to the river. I'm going to the river. I'm going to the river.
Thanks for another great song, Matt.
Yeah. And we are going to take a short break, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. But before we do, you know what we've completely forgotten to mention?
Yes, because
Because,
we're marketing geniuses.
well, that's William's line. You can't steal William's.
Yes, I can. I just did.
Okay.
So
let's do
sue me.
it. We have these little donation links in either corner. Now, I have made the mistake in the past of referring to them as buttons.
They're not.
They're not buttons.
Not buttons.
The clickable links are in the video description. And there's the one over on the Dulcimer side here. That is for people who have a PayPal account and just want to do the simple, straightforward thing and do through PayPal. On the other side, we have coffee.com, where people who don't like to deal with PayPal can let
doesn't
coffee
like
do
to
it
deal
for
with
them.
PayPal?
So, okay. And we're going to take a little break, and we'll be back with another set.
There will be a short intermission. Don't go far.
Oh, I have to do that, don't I? Well, hi, I'm back. I went upstairs and reassured myself that everything's okay, and Mike is indeed on his way, and that he definitely has his priorities straight. So, just reassured myself that everything's good. And, oh yeah, and he asked me to stall you. So, hi, here we are, and I'm stalling you, and this doesn't really work very well on a live stream, does it? I mean, I could tell silly jokes. I could borrow Felicia's jokes. Nah, that would be too much. Yeah, I'm going to be all Norwegian here and say I don't really tell jokes because I inherited my family's Scandinavian humor. And just never mind. And here he comes.
Oh, start without me, see if I care.
I did. This is what I mean about making sure that he had his priorities going right.
I told you 5 minutes wasn't long enough to have a wee and make a cup of tea, but you didn't believe me.
Never believe a word you said.
No.
It's a policy. It's been working for me all these years.
Just remember, the public don't have to know that it's CLS, and I put Baileys in it
To fool me?
to hide the taste of it. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't hide the taste of it, but it makes it,
Palatable.
yeah.
Okay.
I can drink this. Okay.
With apologies to William, who is a coffee connoisseur, Tania is now drinking CLS because it's all I could make in the time allotted. CLS, William will probably explain to the uninitiated.
I don't know. Did we ever tell him that we have that?
I think we did.
Okay. So are we on? Is everybody seeing us? Hi. There you go.
I was delighted to discover this. Some of you may be familiar with the great, wonderful poem "Macavity the Mystery Cat, Who's Never There." You've read that, haven't you?
No.
Oh.
More cultural introductions for me.
I'll leave you to research Macavity the Mystery Cat. What I didn't know is that recently there came upon the scene a mystery bee. So he never had a name because that was the mystery, I guess. So I've called him George the Mystery Bee.
Okay.
And here's a song about him.
It is.
Who wrote it?
Oh, this is, well, I had the name in my head until you asked. I was going to say this is my favorite.
Not Dar. Wasn't Dar, was it?
No, it's not Dar. I should write these things down, shouldn't I?
Somebody will know.
Everybody will know. Somebody will say in the chat as soon as we start who this is.
Just Google George the Mystery Bee and it will come up.
I was going to say I probably first heard this song from Emily Groff.
Did you?
Yeah,
Oh, I
probably
did not know
did.
that.
Wonderful, wonderful singer and harp player, although I think she was playing guitar at the time. And it's just one of those great songs. Everybody's wondering what and where they all came from. Everybody's worrying about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. But no one knows for certain, and so it's all the same to me. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Some say once you're gone forever. Some say you're gonna come back. Some say you'll rest in the arms of the Savior if in sinful ways you lack. Some say they're coming back in the garden, a bunch of carrots and little sweet peas. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Everybody's wondering what and where they all came from. Everybody's worrying about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. But no one knows for certain, and so it's all the same to me. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Some say they're going to a place called glory, and I ain't saying it ain't a fact. But I've heard that I'm on the road to purgatory, and I don't like the sound of that. I believe in love and I live my life accordingly, but I choose to let the mystery be. Everybody is wondering what and where they all came from. Everybody's worrying about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. But no one knows for certain, and so it's all the same to me. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Everybody is wondering what and where they all came from. Everybody's worrying about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. But no one knows for certain, and so it's all the same to me. I think I'll just let the mystery be. I think I'll just let the mystery be.
Wasn't Iris, was it?
Iris Dement.
Yay,
See?
it was.
Usually by the time I finish the song, I've thought of the name, and I was just turning to Mike to say it didn't work this time, and it worked on you. Iris Dement. Yeah. Thank you, Iris, for a wonderful song. Am I playing this again?
No, I'm playing it now. Well, I'll butcher it now.
There you go.
Give me that frog.
It's there.
Frog.
Uh-oh, you're making old man groans when you bend over to grab things, Mike. Stop it, stop it. That's it. I need more CLS for that.
Did William explain what CLS? I can see
Somebody-
coffee coloured beverage. Yeah, you call
close
it
enough, close
CCB, coffee coloured beverage, or CLS, coffee like substance.
Yeah. It always reminds me of the bits in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy where they referred to the dispenser on the spaceship. Do you remember this? It
Nope.
always, no matter what you ordered on this food and beverage dispenser, it always dispensed a liquid that was almost but not quite exactly unlike tea.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the stuff.
That's where it came from. Well, there's an old Irish chestnut.
Very, very chestnutty.
Was this Peg's?
Peg Loughran, yeah, completely rewrote the melody on this.
The
And
great singer-songwriter. And
yes, that was another name drop. Peg Loughran.
Peg Loughran, another great one. And so I don't know why this has only just occurred to me, but she used to be called the Wild Rover. But since Peg's version has tamed it somewhat, it should really be called the Mild Rover, shouldn't it? So from now on, thank you, Peg. 20 plus years it's taken me to reach
Like
this
the Mild
this game-changing conclusion. But this is an Irish song called the Mild Rover.
Yep, something's out. You talked too long, dear. Sorry.
It's how unlike me.
Also, something's still trying to squeak. So yeah,
That's probably me too.
it's
I
the.
think it's this me. Speaking of old man noises.
And if you want to know all about how and why all this tuning has to happen, you can come to our Hurdy-gurdy workshop at Tumbleweed Festival on Labor Day weekend. Okay. There we go. I've been a wild rover for many's the year, spent all my money on whiskey and beer, but now I'm returning with gold in great store. I never will play the wild rover no more. Wild roving Gibor, wild roving, I never will play the wild rover no more. I went into an alehouse that I used to frequent. I told the landlady my money was spent. I asked her for credit. She answered me, nay, Such custom as yours I could have any day. Wild roving, Gibor, wild roving. I never will play the wild rover no more. Wild roving, Gibor, wild roving. I never will play the wild rover no When out of my pocket I pulled sovereigns bright, the landlady's eyes opened wide with delight. She said, we have whiskey and wine of the best, and the words that I spoke, they were only in jest. Wild roving, Gibor, wild roving. I never will play the wild rover no more. Wild roving, Gibor, wild roving. I never will play the wild rover no more. I'll go back to my parents, confess what I've done, and hope that they'll pardon their prodigal one. And if they embrace me like oft times before, I never will play the wild rover no more. Wild roving, Gibor, wild roving. I never will play the wild rover no more. Wild roving, Gibor, wild roving. I never will play the wild rover no more. There you go. Peg Loughran's version of the Wild Rover. Bit different, huh? Well, except to those of you who've heard us do it before, or those who actually have Peg's first album.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which was, I think it was on, yeah, it was on that because Mark Geisler and I played on it. I played fiddle and Mark Geisler played harp, and we sang harmonies. So
And
that's...
it might actually be old enough to be on cassette.
It was on cassette. Yes, it was on cassette. But I think it's also on CD, baby, which is now defunct. Well, anyway, Peg Loughran crossing over. That's where that song crops up. And our camera just froze. Our camera unfroze. Hello there.
What's it telling us? Have we got some dropouts there? Yes, it froze.
Probably telling me, is our sound still on? Our sound is still on. So let me just go deal with the camera while Mike talks to the kind people. I think what it is I forgot to tell it not to sleep.
Ah, right, you're going behind me. All right.
Yep. Okay. I love that little shot of you sipping your tea.
Well, it's perfect. Yeah, you holding up the gurdy like you're presenting it to the world or about to chuck it on a fire, depending on what mood you're in.
Yeah. Okay.
And me sipping tea, which doesn't really depend on what mood I'm in at all.
No, this is going to be fun because when this comes back on, it's going to be totally...
So you put that's because you put the COVID mask on the camera.
Oh, that's probably the problem.
And it's complaining because it doesn't like wearing a mask because it's an anti-vaxxer. We've got an anti-vax camera. I'm going to take a picture of Tania messing with the camera, so we'll post this later. There she goes, fixing the... So it's video. No, I don't want video.
There we go. I think we're on, right? Are we on?
We were. Yes, we are. Hi.
It wouldn't be a live stream show.
Hi,
no,
everybody.
So now you get to see the whole stage. There's your backstage view. Whee! And you can see why we have a little trouble fitting the dulcimer.
And everyone can see me sweatpants and me socks now, so...
I think they saw those before.
Oh, no, they
Okay,
did.
so sorry if I'm making anybody dizzy.
Twizzle it round a bit. Whoa, 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 back, whoa. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'd leave it alone. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it anymore.
Well, there you go. Tania being stage crew.
Mike will have to post those, like, I don't know, maybe to the Facebook event page later so you can see what all
We'll
this...
put them on Fezzer, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
that was remarkable. Well done. Round of applause for Tania, please.
Let's see if I can do as well at playing the dulcimer. Oh, you know, I could have tried turning the camera over this way so you could watch me play the top end of the dulcimer here, but
What? So I'd be completely off the screen and nobody know I was here.
That doesn't work too well, does it?
Some
Oh well.
would say it was an improvement. In fact, no, no comments, please. Thank you very much. Not required.
Okay.
Let's see if I can remember this.
I could pull the dulcimer in a little bit.
No, don't move any.
Oh no, because there's a microphone underneath it.
Oh, no.
I can't do anything. Okay.
It's completely messed up now. You've moved the dulcimer an inch. The dulcimer microphone relationship will be completely skewed now.
It's just not going to work anymore, is
No,
it? Okay,
it's
here we go. Here is a French-Canadian tune, except that, well, some of you may have heard this story before because we've played it a few times because we like it a lot. But when I went in trying to do a little research on the background of this supposedly Quebecois tune, it turned out that it's an old Italian accordion tune that the Quebecois fiddle players had picked up.
Followed by.
Oh, followed by.
I'll drop another name.
Ooh, Bob Head, lefty, guitarist, I believe, fiddler. Wait, guitarist. In Portland, Oregon, great musician in Portland, Oregon, who wrote this tune. That, again, we used to play with William Pint and Felicia Dale way back in, almost prehistoric times. And
they got bored with it, but we didn't, so.
We will revive the 4-piece version of this. We will. Okay?
Yes.
Oh, I play. That's it. Okay, got it. Okay.
Well. Tuning that. There it is. Okay.
Sorry, I'll keep trying to read the comments over here.
Well, you put the strap on this.
Okay.
Check that tuning, which now the capo's off is probably fine.
Of course.
Take it you've got the strap over there.
Somewhere.
And I will sneak off and read the comments just to see what it is.
Okay. Make sure everything is still working after we fix the camera. It always a little bit of a... You know, if we wanted to make sure everything went perfectly smoothly, we would just pre-record the whole thing. But here we are, and we're really enjoying at least knowing that you're out there and seeing your comments.
Oh, William's using the wash hands emoji because he can't find the applause one. So that's the COVID applause emoji.
Are you sure it's supposed to be washing hands rather than clapping? I don't know either. I'm trying to figure out what we're doing.
And of course, I remember keep forgetting there's dulcimer players out there.
Oh, do you?
Who are saying, call that dulcimer player. No, they're actually having a good time. Yes,
we decided, didn't we decide that I was just going to do this all on its own? See,
help me.
I was explaining earlier while you were out about the whole Scandinavian humor thing.
The other myths thing.
Oh, no, I didn't mention the book. There is actually a book, Scandinavian Humor and Other Myths. But to make up for this, you know, and rather than try to actually memorize and figure out ways of delivering jokes, I have made a habit of just learning a few silly songs to sprinkle in. So if you'll excuse me, I'm going to do one of those now.
Have I got to sit here and decorate the stage and look interested and
You
entertaining?
can do whatever you want.
Hey.
Oh, I forgot to turn off the sound on that. Thank you, Janie and John. I usually have that muted so it doesn't go...
No, you should have it doing that the whole time, especially if it can be done in the right key.
Yeah, and presumably having found the clickable links that I had... Here's another thing you missed. I had forgotten to put the clickable links into the video description. I was going to do that later, and later... Well, later turned out to be during the intermission. So I did it later. So anyway, in our last couple of live streams, we did songs about women who are living in, you know, various domestic settled states and would actually rather be out traveling. And I've never tried that. I never got very settled. I've always been the out traveling person. But they're usually in these stories running off with gypsies or the traveling people. And it got me thinking, you know, the term tinker used to be used to refer to traveling people. It turned into a bit of a pejorative, so we don't say that anymore. The tinker. Oh, dear. Now that's an Irish pun, because it doesn't work any other way, does it? But
it's not so funny if you had to explain it.
Sorry. But yeah, they would... it was just people who would travel around back in days when communities tended to be smaller and your goods tended to last a lot longer and didn't need repair very often. So a tinker...
Wish my goods had lasted longer. Carry on.
Oh, poor Mike. So a tinker would just, you know, wander into town and repair things and then travel on to the next town and repair things there. And this is going to be another hunting for a name, but I cannot remember who I got this song from. It's so long ago. I don't really stand a chance of remembering it all. Annie Scarborough, Elizabeth Ann Scarborough might remember because it was from one of her albums back when we were roommates at college in Fairbanks. But having found somebody who can pretty much repair anything, I can really speak for the advantages of being on the road with somebody who repairs stuff. I am a roving repairman, oh, the rural routes I ride, and I shall not park my utility van till my love is by my side, till my love is by my side. He went and knocked at the kitchen door. The lady says, "Who's there?" "Oh, I am a roving repairman. Oh, have you any that needs repair? Have you any that needs repair?" I have a frost-free fridge, good sir, that's none so free of the frost. I'd be much obliged if you'd look inside, but pray what might be the cost? But pray what might be the cost? 9 bob for the job, I'd guess, lady, 9 bob, or 9 and 3. But for just one kiss from your domestic lips, I'd gladly work for free. I'd gladly work for free. A kiss or a hug I'd not begrudge, you have beguiled me so, and I'd leave my frost-free fridge to thaw, and along with you I'd go, and along with you I'd go. Well, I have no house nor lands, lady, I gets by as I can, but you'll find me to be frost-free in my utility van, in my utility van. Her gloves of rubber she has cast off, and her apron as white as snow. She has grabbed her toothbrush and gone along with the roving repairman, oh, with the roving repairman, oh. I am a roving repairman, oh, the rural routes I ride, and I shall not park my utility van till my love is by my side, till my love is by my side.
It's a classic.
It is a classic, and I hope you all sang along on the big finishing line. What's next? What's next?
Lighter Side of Blue. Another name to drop.
Oh,
this is a great name dropping set. Well done. Shows a great name dropping set.
We're going to do a song by another one of our local songwriters back in our Washington State home, Western Washington, out on the Kitsap
It's another
Peninsula.
illusion shattered. I have myself perched on these lumps of high density polystyrene,
Did you show him the back?
which used to be a target for somebody's archery up here. And I've got 2 of them, and they're balanced to support the drum precisely 7/8 of an inch, which is approximately 20 millimeters below the cable from this microphone. So hopefully I don't hit anything.
Except the drum.
Except the drum and myself, yeah.
Okay, here's a song by Billy Forrester. I used to start shows with this when we were doing folk club tours, thinking, yeah, I should start a show with a song with a chorus. And this was a great song with a chorus, and couldn't understand why nobody sang along. It is kind of an advanced level chorus. So if you know the song already, sing along. If you don't, well, by the time we finish it, you might get it. I hear the ringing of my clock, it's a new day. Sun outside my window, go away. I was in a dream that was pretty good. I don't want to come back, although I know I should. I got a home, I got a job, I got a family. Seems the whole damn world depends on me. If I don't get out of bed and walk, I'll never run. Sometimes I wish the morning didn't have to come. I'd like nothing more than to run forever with you. Through the fields, past the fence lines and the phone lines and the sound of the big jet plane. Where every moment in time, every picture in my mind, every word we speak is one to savor, for they favor a lighter side of blue. I have a little coffee with my headlines. It's a full-time job keeping up with the times. I read the paper every morning just so. If something happens to me, I'll be the first to know. 1,000,000 tons of metal on the freeway, just sitting there like scenery. Everybody in a hurry, going nowhere. We're all people of vision, so we sit and stare. I'd like nothing more than to run forever with you. Through the fields, past the fence lines and the phone lines and the sound of the big jet plane. Where every moment in time, every picture in my mind, every word we speak is one to savor, for they favor a lighter side of blue. Job, I slip into my dream. I can do them both at once, it's easy. Automatic pilot, cruise control. Two worlds at once and nobody knows. After work I stop for a pint or two before I run on home to you. My life, my children, rest and peace. We're all running through the fields, fast asleep. I'd like nothing more than to run forever with you. Through the fields, past the fence lines and the phone lines and the sound of the big jet plane. Where every moment in time, every picture in my mind, every word we speak is one to savor, for they favor a lighter side of blue. I'd like nothing more than to run forever with you. Through the fields, past the fence lines and the phone lines and the sound of the big jet plane. Where every moment in time, every picture in my mind, every word we speak is one to savor, for they favor a lighter side of blue.
Billy Forrester. And now,
Really? Okay, and now...
Danny Carnahan.
And thanks to everybody who is actually finding those links that I hastily added to the break during the break to the video description, because I did forget to put the clickable links. These things on the screen, I know people in the past have mistaken those for buttons that you should be able to hit. And my mistake, because I watched one of the old concerts and I saw myself referring to it as a button. It's not a button. It's just to show you where you can make donations if you want to.
Call that a button?
No.
This is a button.
If you want to keep the music rolling along. And
So time to mention to name check the Grateful Dead.
oh yes, well I checked the tuning on this, so you do the name checks and I'll do the tuning.
All right, well, we'll name check the Grateful Dead. We don't know them. I did do sound for Peter Owen and his band once. That was fun, but nothing to do with any of this except the connection between them and Danny Carnahan, who is a founder member of a band called Wake the Dead, specialising in acoustic Grateful Dead arrangements, sanctioned by Jerry Garcia's family, I believe, and there are 2 Wake the Dead albums out there, both of which are absolutely brilliant. I have them both. But in his other life, Danny is also another great singer-songwriter. I believe in Portland, although I could be wrong. I don't know where he is now. I think he was in Portland at one point.
I thought it was California-based.
Well, Portland,
Bay Area.
California.
Bay
There
Area.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah, Bay Area.
Yeah. Down there somewhere, because everywhere's down there as far as we're concerned in the States right now. In case some of you are still not sure, we we'll give you a location check once again and tell you that this show is coming to you live from the Anchorage Empire, all 10 by 8 square basement feet of it. Danny Carnahan, anyway, wrote this, and it's a kind of mashup of many myths and legends to do with meeting strange people from other worlds, falling in love, but in absolutely classic Russian tradition. Sudba. Fate.
Actually, I was kind of waiting for you to...
Shut up.
Just
Carry on.
I was kind of waiting for any indication whether you knew what Danny Carnahan is doing now.
No.
No, well, still doing music, obviously, but he's also writing novels. So one of our many musician friends who has become a published writer, but he's writing murder mysteries. At least last I checked, and that might have moved on from then. But
And since we can't say that without mentioning, because they're listening, Elizabeth Koenig-Ewing, who has written a wonderful series of books that she'll probably, hopefully, tell them all about it. Elizabeth,
and is a wonderful singer as well.
And JC, who's a bit reticent about self-promotion, JC Bedford is on here, and she might actually drop you all a note and tell you about her wonderful series of science fiction orientated books.
Well, there's a science fiction series, there's a fantasy series. You take your pick. She's got them all.
JC actually originates from another world, which we humans know as Yorkshire, and she might even tell you all about that. But there's nothing like a bit of self-promotion. We do have donation buttons, don't we?
And of course,
we have merchandise, which we always forget to mention.
We have, which you can get to through our webpage, opland-freeman.com. I forgot to put that in there. Meanwhile...
What was his name again? Danny Carnahan?
Danny Carnahan. Well,
right.
Yeah, but you haven't even gotten to Elizabeth Ann Scarborough and Felicia Dale, who's also a published writer on here. And, the list goes on.
Yeah,
so anyway, we have such talent.
And now someone will show up and say, hey, you forgot me.
Probably, yes. But that's what we see. Our comments have actually scrolled off the bottom of the page, so we can't tell if anybody's commenting
Stephen's
now.
probably sitting there saying, what about my book?
He has a book?
No, we might have for all we know.
The young man sat above the town in the glow of the setting sun, with his head held cradled in his hand, his back against a stone, saying, why have I so little time in this wretched place to stand, when I can't take the girl I love back home to the borderland? No, for I watch her dance upon the hill, and I live but for her song, and she never dreamed I waited here so silent and so long, but her golden hair to strike me down, and her brown eyes strike me blind, and the thought I'll ne'er see her again is torturing my mind. Oh. The maid walked down the hill nearby toward home and the end of day, and she caught the sound of the young man's words and stopped along her way. No voice had she ever heard as sweet as the voice of the stranger lad, and she stood there as if turned to stone and listened from the shadow. But the young man's words reached out to her where she stood upon the lea, and they built her ships upon the clouds and castles on the sea. And as he spoke, her eyes did flash and burn as with a steel, and the maid stepped out around the stone as if he'd called her name. Oh, pray lament no more, she said, her voice like a gentle sea, for I have heard your every word, and I know they're meant for me. And if you speak in truth, my lad, and you love me as you say, there can be no reason we must part, not even for a day. Oh. The young man started at her words, and he stood up straight and tall. Said, I never meant for you to hear me speak this way at all. For you can never have me, love, it's useless to deceive. For I must return to the borderlands, I am bound to leave you. I care not where you're bound, my lad, I care not where you're from. For the one thing that I'm certain, 'tis this maiden's heart you've won. So take me with you where you must, I freely go your way. And I will lie here in your arms to greet the light of day. Tenderly he laid her down, and next to her did lie. The wind that whispered through the trees was sweet as a lullaby. Bending low, he folded her into his soft embrace. With a touch he sent her fast asleep, with a smile upon her face. Oh, sleep content, my love, he said, I cannot cause you pain. But the dawn will find me far away, and I won't be back again. Though I'd take you if I could, I am not what I seem. So forget we ever tarried here, and wake as from a dream. For I am not of your world, my love, I come from another time. And I crossed here from the borderlands between your world and mine. 'Twas there that I first heard your voice and longed for your face to see. And I gathered all the powers I had and stepped out on your lead. And you know I watched you quietly as you danced upon the hill. Though I dared not call to you, I loved you stronger still. But no longer do I have the power, no longer can I stay. And I'll be pulled back into my time by the dawning of the day. But I will be your pillow where'er your head will lie. I'll be the star you can only catch in the corner of your eye. I'll be the sound of laughter in the first low flower dawn. I'll be the touch to brush your cheek and wake you in the morning. Saying this, he bended down and he kissed her once goodbye. As the dawn broke on the hill, he vanished like a sigh. And the maid, she opened up her eyes and smiled up through the trees. For as she listened, she could almost hear his voice upon the breeze. Oh, I know you hear me, love, she whispered from her grassy bed. For I felt your touch and I felt your kiss and I heard the words you said. And the next time that our worlds combine cannot be very far. And I'll be waiting then to take your hand and dance among the stars. Oh.
Thank you, Danny Carnahan, for that one.
Whew. That's going back a ways. We are kind of, I mean, we're going back through the whole history of our repertoire here, choosing gems for each one of these live stream concerts, because, you know, it's not like back in the real world when we would work up a concert set and tour it around. No, we're just doing this and hoping all of you guys can come here together in one place and catch us on our first performance of the set that we've worked up, because we don't have another venue to do it a second time yet. But next weekend, 1 week from today, we're actually going to be doing, assuming, you know, Delta variant doesn't get everything shut down on us here, we are scheduled to be part of the lineup at the Anchorage Galway Days Irish Festival. So we'll be playing at the Arts Centre in the Sidney Lawrence Theatre for a half-capacity audience, and with half of the acts live, pre-recorded. So there's plenty of time to go through and do stage cleaning in between. And the whole thing is going to be live streamed. So I think that's I know being in the theater is a ticketed thing, but I don't know how the live stream is going to work. You'll just have to go to the Galway Days webpage and find out how that's going to work. We don't actually need to know because we're going to be there playing it. So what is it? Alaska Irish or irishalaska.com? Whoever's watching and knows whether it's irishalaska.com or alaskairish.com, or check our calendar. And we'll be doing, of course, a set of Irish music. You tuned? Sorry, just me chattering away while you tune.
Oh. Now then, William will like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I'll just turn up the reverb.
Oh.
On your bike.
Because I'm going to play this. I haven't played this in a little while. This is my double ocarina, although I've noticed in photographs it always just looks like I'm eating a hamburger or something. But it's actually two.
It looks a lot better than the original one that JC gave you.
Two ocarinas in one. Two different keys even. And we will do. This is what I'm thinking we might do at Galway Days next weekend, because it's very, very Irish.
Followed by the one we're going to follow it with as well.
Probably not.
I think we should.
This is usually our catch-all, any cultures that we have failed to appropriate during our set. We try to throw them in here. We got the Irish tune on the ocarina, which is most commonly thought of as an Italian instrument, although it's so popular in South America that they certainly, in fact, just about everybody in the world considers the ocarina to be their traditional instrument. But we're going to put it to a little bit of a Latin beat, because we're going to be switching over to a tune from Bolivia, right? On the hammer dulcimer, which of course is, well, I used to always say this is an ancient Persian instrument, but people tend to say, no, that's not the truth. And I don't feel like taking the time to do the research myself. So it's a hammer dulcimer.
Yeah, especially when you've got knowledgeable dulcimeristas in the audience
Yes.
who will probably know these things.
Okay, so an Irish tune song thing.
I think you're on your own to start with.
Oh, yeah, okay. Sorry. Said to me, my father won't mind, my mother won't slight you for your lack of kind. And she clasped her hands round me and to me did say, it will not be long, my love, till our wedding day. Then she stepped away from me and she moved through the fair. So fondly I watched her move here and move there. Then she made her way homeward with her goods and her gear. And that was the last time that I saw my dear. was a tune called La Flora de la Santa Cruz. And of course, the first one was She Moved Through the Fair. We have one more song to pull out of our little back pockets of stuff that we haven't played in years.
And it's all yours, and it's by another famous name-drop-worthy singer-songwriter who comes from the strange, mysterious, otherworldly land of Yorkshire himself, because he's JC Famous Bedford's other famous half. As far as we know, hasn't written a book, but has written hundreds and thousands.
Might as well have written a book. He's written enough songs to make many novels
his
worth.
songs are books, absolutely, and hundreds and thousands of stunningly excellent songs, which are known, but I still don't ever think that Brian Bedford's songs are anything like as widely known in the greater world out there as they should be. Spread the word about Brian Bedford, because he writes brilliant songs. And he penned this one a long time ago.
And I learned this one a long time ago.
When Brian and JC were singing with their great and old friend, not great and old, no, I've been pulled up on that this week once, great friend Hilary Spencer, as the
Long-time friend, that's the term we're using.
As the Harmony Trio artisan. This is one of the songs that they made famous for Brian. And Tania's continuing to do her best to keep it famous.
And into it.
We'll leave you with this one and remind you again about those two little buttons down there. You can't see that. Hang on there. Those two little buttons down there. Feel free to... Not those, they're not buttons.
They're not buttons. No, they're not buttons.
Push the buttons to which those refer if you feel so inclined. And thank you for tuning in. It's a gorgeous sunny day out there, and we do have actually things to do this afternoon, so we're going to disappear when we're done and go off and do those. We do thank you massively for spending this valuable time with us, and if it's bedtime where you are, sleep well, and wherever you are, stay safe, especially now, because things are getting very interesting again out there. Tania.
There are many roads to travel, I'll tell you now, my friend. But the easy roads are rarely those that lead to happy ends. For the hardships you encounter on the way that's dark and long make the ending linger sweetly, like the last note of a song. There are roads on which you're lonely, every turning seems the same. When the journey has no purpose, when no one speaks your name, when you need someone to walk with, just to say that you exist, that's the road that seems the longest, like the path lost in the mist. There are many roads to friendship, some are short and quickly wane, but the friends you make on troubled roads are those that will remain. Those you carry when they're weary, those who'll guide you when you're lost, are the friends that you will warm to, like the fires that melt the frost. You will sit by many firesides, seeking comfort from the road, till the fire of friendship burns you and you carry one more load. Then you'll share a fire that warms you, glows beside you through the day, and you'll walk the road together, taking turns to lead the way. For there are many roads to travel, I'll tell you now, my friend, but the easy roads are rarely those that lead to happy ends. For the hardships you encounter on the way that's dark and long make the ending linger answer sweetly, like the last note of a song. Thank you.